Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 236 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. So we all know what momentum can do for us, right? When you've got it and you're on the right track, there is no denying it. And you can really feel it. It's like watching a basketball game where it looks like one team is definitely going to win. It's not looking good for the other team, and they know something has to happen for them to turn things around. And then that team that's behind, they have this crazy, good, exciting play, and everyone goes wild, and the momentum shifts, and everybody knows it, including the team that's ahead. They know if they don't stop that momentum, it's over. We've seen it lots of times. You create momentum, and once it gets going, it's really hard to stop. But what got that momentum going in the first place? Action. That's what got it going. Someone took action that shifted the momentum. Now, momentum, by definition, is movement that gains traction. And that movement doesn't have to be big. I was reading a blog recently, and it was talking about this idea that movement doesn't have to be really a big move to start momentum. So say, for example, you weren't even considering cleaning your house. When you simply start sorting the mail, and then that leads you to clean off the counter. And suddenly, you're cleaning the kitchen. And you love the way that feels, so it inspires you to clean the whole house. That is a beautiful example of how a small, insignificant action like sorting the mail can turn into pretty big momentum. Had you not started sorting the mail, you probably wouldn't have cleaned the house, not then anyway. A lot of times we think small actions are insignificant. But if sorting the mail can lead to cleaning your entire house, what can other small actions lead to? That's my point for this episode, is for us to think about the little decisions we make and how they can affect the momentum of our day, our week, or maybe even our year. Who knows? I was working with a coaching client. She was telling me how her boyfriend actually cleaned her car for her. She said it had been kind of dirty. But just because of that, she felt inspired to clean her apartment. And that made her feel inspired to work out, which inspired her to get all dressed up for dinner, which made her want to continue the good stuff happening. And so she meal prepped for the entire week. So that one small action, not even on her part, inspired her to make everything she could better. And that led her to eating better for the entire week because she had done her meal prep. Pretty cool. Now, this works in both directions too. Do not underestimate that. Because that seemingly harmless donut breakfast actually could cause you to think, I've already blown the day, so I'm just going to eat bad the rest of the day. And then you don't work out because there's no use doing that when you've eaten 4,000 calories, right? No, not right. That momentum you had going could be stopped in its tracks by you going to the gym anyway. So what momentum do you have going on right now? Is it you getting better? Is it you being the best version of yourself? Or is it you staying stagnant with no forward momentum? Or even worse, backwards momentum? This last Monday, I had a little pity party. Because even though I'm eating super clean, and that is my norm, I can still eat too many calories. So I got on the scale, which in all honesty is not my favorite thing to do. But I didn't like what I saw. I'm going to be transparent. I like to stay in a certain range when that's good for my body type. And I hadn't gotten on the scale for a while, but we had started this habit of eating macadamia nuts. They come in that big bag from Costco, and they are divine. They're so delicious. But you can overeat healthy food too. Now, the scale was a little out of the range that I want to keep, so not a good start to my Monday. But I noticed my morning routine after that was off too. I wasn't resonating with the podcast I was listening to, and my meditation wasn't good either. And when I did my thought download afterwards, I realized that it was because I thought the momentum had shifted for my weight and then I was going to let it go back up. But guess what? I control that momentum. And so I made a little 20-day challenge for myself that very day. Now, once I got out of my pity party, that is. But I decided I'm going to get on the scale every day up until we go out of town, which is about 20 days from now. But I'm going to get on the scale just so that my relationship with the scale gets better. Now, I'm also going to stay off Twitter completely for the next 20 days. And I'm going to do something hard that I'm hesitant to do because it's out of my comfort zone every single day for the next 20 days. I've already seen a huge shift in my momentum just from 4 to 5 days of doing that. Now, for starters, we aren't buying the massive bag of macadamia nuts again. It's too tempting. And then the other day in yoga, the instructor gave us the option to do bridge or wheel. If you do yoga, you know what those are. If you don't, wheel is much, much harder. But as it's at the end of class when we usually do that, and I didn't feel like doing full wheel. I haven't really done it since I've been going back to yoga after COVID. And then I remembered my challenge, and I was like, well, guess I'm doing wheel, which is basically a full back bend from laying down. Now, it wasn't pretty, and it was really, really challenging, but I did it all because of my challenge. And also because I haven't gotten on Twitter all week, I've been super productive on all the things I needed to get done. One simple little action of getting on the scale on a Monday morning caused all those other actions. And remember, at first, getting on that scale and seeing that number, it kind of messed with my head. And then I let it mess with my morning routine too. But I'm aware enough to know that if I let that momentum continue, it'll gain traction. You can stop the momentum of where your life is headed if you don't like it. You do control it. You could just be making small decisions that you don't think about or that you think are insignificant. And by themselves, maybe they are. But the actions that they spark create momentum. You control the trajectory of your life through your daily decisions. And if you don't like where your momentum is headed, what are you going to do about it? Now, I stopped my negative momentum this week by giving myself a challenge. I love a challenge. I don't know if you're like me, but I love it. So I gave myself one, and it changed everything. It changed my momentum from negative to positive immediately. And by the way, let me just say this. The scale is just information. Without that information, I might have continued to buy those big bags of macadamia nuts and mindlessly eating them because they're healthy. Now, momentum can be felt just like in that basketball game. My guess is, if you're being honest with yourself, you have an idea if your life has forward momentum in a good direction, no momentum, you feel stagnant, or backwards momentum, right? If you have good forward momentum, keep going. Keep doing those good things. If you have no momentum, you feel stuck or stagnant, take small actions to move it forward. They don't have to be big. Remember, momentum happens after you start. So you have to take some action to get it going. Maybe join a group class at the gym. Challenge yourself to stay off social media or take a class, whatever you need to do to start some forward momentum. You don't even have to work out. Just go to the gym and sit in the sauna. That could be a forward momentum starting action. It has been for me in the past. If you have negative momentum, stop it in its tracks however you need to. Sometimes we think just because we're in the car driving that we'll eventually get there. But if you're headed in the opposite direction of your destination, you're not going to get there. Like I did with my 20-day challenge, don't let it get too far. Don't let that momentum get too far. Turn it around now. You can do it. My challenge to you this week is decide where you are. Is the momentum of your life headed in the right direction? Is it stagnant with no momentum? Or worse, maybe your momentum is headed in the opposite direction of where you want to be. That's a good thing to know. You control the trajectory of your life. It's never too late, and you are never too old to turn things around. Do me a favor and share this with 3 people. Just pick 3 friends you think might benefit from this and share the episode with them. You can easily share it by text. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.